Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there, just to let me know that it's working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Hopefully your weekend was awesome and long. I am excited. We've got a lot of good stuff to go through here and some good trades lining up. Let me pull up Forex Factory so we can just acquaint ourselves real quick with the news that's coming out today. And this week. All right, and I've got my watch list pulled up, so we should be good. Okay. All right, so as far as news today, there's really nothing at least to note or to be concerned about. And then the next real news event would be this GDP news event with the CAD tomorrow. So for now, I think we're good to go ahead and execute some trades. Oh yeah, I had some cool trades last night with the pound CAD here that worked out just swimmingly. I'm going to close those real quick, those pending orders. And then let's jump to um, I think the Euro Frank's probably lining up right now. So we'll jump to that one. And let's see if we can grab a trade or two over there. And then I've got several trades to update you guys from this last weekend. We haven't done a banker's close trade in a hot minute just because we've had, several holidays and things like that, and a long weekend. This looks good to me. This Euro Franc long. I like how it's coming into kind of a supply demand zone right here and right here. So if the market continues lower, we should get some help with this market. So let's go ahead and start building a position here. And I'm going to buy the Euro Franc for my banker's close trade today. So I'm just going to go ahead and start executing several buys. I like to add like 5, 10 trades. This is my starter position. These are all 0.02 contracts. And then after I've kind of built it up just a little bit, then I can go ahead and add to it later as I want to. And that's good. And then I will just add some buy limits in here. So if it continues lower down into those areas that I drew out, I am totally willing to tango with the market and buy with the market into those areas. So sorry guys, I'm a little bit my hair's not combed this morning, a little crazy this morning. Part of that's because I just drove back from San Francisco to Utah last night. So I almost 13 hours of driving yesterday. So I got back a little late and I just fell asleep. And I took a couple of trades, but as you can see, I got some trades that did really well last night. Took a few trades last night, and then I just went to bed. So I am tired, but I feel good now, right? And I know what I'm doing now, but um, I didn't get up super early to comb my hair, so that's why I'm a little flustered if it looks that way, but we should be good to go. Anyways, as a reminder, I am buying the Euro Franc. It looks like it's already starting to curve up just a little at the moment. We're in a supply block right here, or excuse me, a demand block. This is demand block. And then the next demand block would be right here. So we're in a good area for buying, especially the fact that we're coming into here with no news at the end of the day. This is the banker's close hour with no news. This is going to be a successful trade, in my opinion. I think we're going to find a very, very, very successful setup. In fact, let me grab it. I want to grab it on this other account real quick. Let me grab several trades here. I'm just going to grab several orders on the Euro Franc. And then I'm also going to do some buy limits. Try to scale into this. Yeah, about to there is about kind of where the buy order block is. So yeah, basically through this region is where the institutions are buying. So I would probably say, that's about how far you want to buy. But then after that, I wouldn't be interested in buying beyond that. So, well, good. We'll let that sit and do its thing. Um, that is awesome. Let me show you guys while we let this sit, because this should be a fantastic trade. And I'm not even going to, well, actually, let's see. Where do we want to put these targets? I would say probably right through this area right here would be where most of our targets ought to be. We'll put some through there, but in reality, I'll probably manually adjust these later too. But for now, we're good to go. And side note, I'm up 867 pips so far on the day. So anything we make beyond 867 pips is our pips that we made together in the webinar. So let me show you a couple of trades, some trades that we took together and a trade I took by myself last night. I'll show you the trade I took by myself last night. This trade for me personally made, well, I need to switch over to my other account. Let me see. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let me switch to my other account. Um, let me switch over here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this trade made $4,592.36. Just an absolutely bonkers trade right there. $4,592.36. And then I had my pound dollar sell last night. I closed out for $922. That's a trade we took together. And then I also closed this trade out. We took this one together, this Euro Aussie long. I just closed that one out for $1,554. So really, really cool stuff. And we'll talk about each one, like why we took each trade and just all those details that we need to go over. And then let me show you this account. This is a different one. This is the one I just barely took those other trades in. The Euro Aussie long did really well for me. I made across several different trades. I think I made like $8,000 on this trade setup, and we'll go over it, but it was just absolutely amazing, that trade setup. So like, which one do we go over first, right? We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Most of these for reference as we go into each one, as we're waiting for our banker's close trade to do its thing. Most of the trades that made our money, most of the swing trades we take, let's just put it that way, are on the hourly time frame. So when you take a trade with me, we're looking at hourly order blocks from the big banks. We're trying to take trades based off of what they're doing on those higher time frames, right? So let's go take a look at the pound CAD. That's the trade I took last night. And I sold, let's see, I bought down here wherever the market was last night, and I sold right there. Now, why the heck did I sell right there, and why was I so accurate? And you guys already know why I was so accurate, right? But for those of you that are new or watching this for the first time, like, how did Steve know to sell right there? Magic, right? Let me show you, so I'm not kidding, right? Let me show you that we actually did do that. There it is, right? So I sold out right there. So here's all my buy orders last night, took several buys, and I sold right there. Now I'm kind of kicking myself, like, why didn't I just close my trade and then also execute a sell as soon as I hit my take profit? Yeah, I'm kicking myself right now. Yes, I wish I had sold the moment I had taken all my profits on my buys. And it's just my fault. I should have done it. I should have done it, but I didn't. So there's your answer. Yes, you totally could have, and you should have. had you taken this setup. But this is a trade I saw on Friday late. I saw this one lining up and I thought, wait a second, there's a little bit more to go on this pound CAD. Like it's almost a guaranteed amount of money, like almost guaranteed. Um, and I'll show you how I found this and like why I felt so comfortable, putting a big trade like just this little move right here. I mean, it's still what, 80 pips? That's an 80 pip move on the 5-minute chart. Okay. Um, yeah, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars on an 80 pip move like that. But yeah, so like I showed you on my FTMO account, I made $4,500, almost $4,600 on that move right there. And that was just that account. I also made money on this account. I'm also funded over here with a different, prop trading company where we use a different platform, Alveo. I made just 3.5% of my account and 867 pips on this trade right here. So that, when you start thinking about it, you're like, well, hey, look, if I take a really accurate trade like this and I can make, thousands of dollars on just one account, and then I also have multiple other accounts I can trade that same trade on. Now you can see how much money could possibly be made on a move like that. But let's scan out because it wasn't based on the 5-minute chart. I did not see that coming on the 5-minute chart. Here's how I found it. In fact, when I'm doing my analysis, guys, I always use TradingView. I always come over here and I connect to TradingView because that's where the greatest tools are. If you want to be interactive with your chart, TradingView's where it's at. So let me actually kind of delete my analysis so far. And then you guys can see what I did later. So I used a couple of things. So here's a blank chart of the pound CAD on an hourly. Okay. Obviously, it's been coming up a lot. Whenever you see a market that's like coming up a lot and making new highs on an hourly, or a market that's coming down or making lots of new lows on an hourly, I'm looking at it. Steve Perry is looking at that chart. Okay. And he's drawn out some kind of analysis to find out where the significant levels are. So hopefully you guys kind of go through that same process too. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, hey, look, here's this market. It's up here. I wonder, where's it going? What's next with this trade? So I saw this market and I said, okay, well, here's the market yesterday. It was basically right there at that blue line that I just put there. So what I do is here's how my analysis works. I go back in time to find out the last time the market was in this area. It's like, oh, back here, May, April kind of area. This is when the market was back over here. And I kind of study this area pretty intensely, as you guys know. I go back and find out, okay, what happened? Um, obviously I got this little bull right here, this little structure component, resistance. And then really what's most important is what caused this, what caused the market to break into this area in the first place. And this is where I come in here and say, why is the market being pushed lower from this point? Why are we staying down here? And there's a couple of things that I look at. So I'd come over here and say, okay, great. I can see that this market, basically when it runs into this thing, whatever this thing is, it gets stuck. It just it can't go down from there. Um, that's kind of excuse me, whatever the market did right here caused the market to break lower, and then stay lower for the next 6, 7, 8 months. Um, and then also the other thing that got me really interested was this guy right here. So you look at this right here, and I got really excited. So I said, okay, there's two things here. These are absolutely zones where the banks are selling. So I got excited. I said, okay, well, we got to sell in either one of these. Um, if the market gets to this, um, I gotta sell in either one of these. So I drew both of these over, and just go like this, just draw them over, maybe, Yeah, it might take you a second to draw them over, but it's super important. Look at this. Here it is. Here's today's market. So obviously this is a sell zone. Market didn't stay there. That's fine. But here's another sell zone, right? And that one market came right up to it and then came down from there. Um, and then that's not the end of the analysis. You guys know we have this tool with Sonar Lab, right? These guys show you where buy and sell order blocks are. They give you a lot more than my personal analysis would do. But yeah, you can pull this indicator up. You can open and close it just like that. You can hide it or show it just like that. And it'll show you where these blocks are, right? So I do that after I do my own analysis, partly because one, I like to see that I'm doing this right. I like to test my skills to make sure I know where these blocks are. And then if the Sonar Lab comes out and confirms my blocks, then I know I have something. So what was cool is when I came in here last night, this block actually didn't exist. So it looks like they've been selling pretty hard this morning. Um, Yeah, that was a great sell. I'm kind of mad that I didn't turn around and just sell it. But hey, $4,600 on the move on the last move up, that's pretty cool, right? Can't complain. Um, okay. So basically, this was a seller's block right here, and it was right up against my analysis. And I thought, okay, um, normally if the market's going to reject a level, it'll come right to it and then go away. So I thought, this market's probably going to come right to that and then go away, just like, the Sonar Lab order block and my order block. So I just said, okay, I'm going to put all my take profits right at that order block and, see what happens. And I really should have, like you guys probably would say, go ahead and sell the moment you hit your take profit. Yeah, I should have, because then I could have made money in both ways. We would have played this so incredibly well last night. It's fine. Totally fine. Um, but yeah, so I saw anyway, the market was down here, and I thought, okay, well, the market, it it's kind of just staying up here in this buy order block or this sell order block. And you guys know this concept. I've mentioned this many times, but for those that don't know, if a market comes up to a buy order block or a sell order block and just stays there, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign if you're looking for a reversal, if that makes sense. If the market comes to one of these areas and hangs out, that means it's not getting a rejection, which means a continuation is more than likely. Okay. If the market comes up to a block like it did right here, like it came up to the block that I drew out, that I found myself, and it came up to the block that Sonar Lab indicator found, we had the same block essentially, or at least their block was inside my block, right? Um, I knew that that was going to be a sell zone, and the market came right to it and got rejected. um, that's going to be a strong zone going forward. In fact, it is possible, I'm not saying it is, but it is possible we have found the next 6 months high and it happened about 6 hours ago. Like, that's just kind of cool stuff to know that we were involved in that, to know that we had analysis around that concept. Um, let's see here. So, another side note, the best trades are going to be when you're the first to a buy or sell zone. Um, I don't like to trade retests of a buy or sell zone if it's already happened. So to be honest, I'm not really interested in this pair anymore, because the interest for me was when it hit this block the first time. When you're the first to the party, the more than likely you're going to be successful at it. If you have to be the next guy up, if you're like, oh man, that's rejected there, I'm going to go ahead and sell again if it gets there. It can work, but it's not my way of trading. The most probable trades and the trades with the most opportunities to make insane amounts of money are going to be when you're the one that's first to the opportunity, right? So that's all I would say. Okay, um, so when I came to this last night, let's further this is where the market was. I was looking at this market and I zoomed in. I said, okay, this is where it is. It's right here. There's 80 pips to go, or 100 pips to go, I guess, right? And I said, well, it's obviously hanging out in this cell block, and there's another cell block up here. So I looked at that and said, you know what? This is going to be a good trade. So I put in a bunch of buys. As you guys know and saw, I put in a ton of buys right there on the pound CAD, right? And then I put my stops below some of these, I think just below this buy order block right here. That was my stop on this trade. And then obviously my target was right to the next sell order block. So right there we got out, and you can see I literally sold right there. Right there is where I sold right when the market got to that next buy sell order block. So pretty cool stuff. So I'm going to take a lot more trades with you guys doing that. I really liked something that I did on this trade where I combined my personal analysis with the analysis of Sonar Lab. It's a really cool indicator on TradingView, and it's free to use. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but I feel like I talk about some of these indicators enough that I feel like I should be, right? But still, I like to point out quality when I see it. I don't know how all their data is figured out. All I know is that when I'm trading um, um, using their indicator, it really kind of aligns with my own analysis, which I think is awesome. And then, yeah, so again, why did I buy there? Again, so for me, I saw that the market was holding this value, like it came up a lot and it wasn't just being rejected. Okay. These are things we really need to pay attention to because it's the difference between really being profitable and not being profitable. Is I came up here and I said, oh, wow, this market's holding this level. It's not being rejected. And it's pretty much at a sell order block right here. Right. And it's and it's just holding. Okay. So I said to myself, okay, so we're going to have a continuation. That was my signal for continuation. Then I said, okay, well, where would it stop? Because the markets don't just stop whenever. They stop and go where the next buy or sell order block is, right? So the next sell order block was up here. How do we find that? Again, you have to go back to May and you'd see, okay, hey, this is the next sell order block is right here. And it's confirmed by Sonar Lab, right? I think you should do both. You should do your own analysis, and then if you can get the indicator to help you out, then great. So yeah, I came out here and saw that the indicator had found a nice resistance up here coupled with my own. And actually, it didn't quite even get to you can see it didn't quite actually reach the indicator's sell zone. You can see it right there. That small box, that's their indicator. It actually came right to mine and then came down. So I think it's good to do your own analysis as well, just in case the indicator doesn't quite capture it. But yeah, that was quite the rejection, right, of that level. So glad I took my profit, because had I not taken my profit, I'd probably be down by this point, right? So, and I really, as you guys know, I should have just switched directions. I should have started selling the moment that happened. But yeah, great little trade. Let me show you another trade that I took. This one you guys took with me. This is on the Euro Aussie. Oh, dang. Now in hindsight, I'm like, dang, I should have stayed in. But go ahead and delete this Sonar Lab off your trading view and come and do your own analysis with me. Dang, I should have stayed in. It's okay. So this is a trade you and I bought together. Okay, so we were doing an analysis before all of this happened. We were about like right here on the market. This is on the Euro Aussie. And the market had made this nice move down, came back up and stayed up here and looked like it was going to retest some of these areas. So what we did is we came in here and said, okay, great. This market it's got kind of a bunch of buy order blocks right here. So like this would be a buy order block. And technically this is also a buy order block, and that's it. Why is it a buy order block? Because whatever the market did right here is basically what created this rally. Um, right? And that's kind of what broke the structure that had been formed, this nice support and resistance area right through here. It's whatever this did. So this whole thing is combined, right? You could say, okay, yeah, that's a buy order block, and then you bring this over. These are strong, strong buy zones. In fact, the overlap is even stronger. You can see the market came just barely into that overlap and then went up from there. But we bought in here and then just held this trade. I mean, it was a very simple trade. All you have to do with this is, once you've identified a really solid buy order block like this, you put your stop on the other side of the buy order block, and then, you can buy either right at the beginning of this block, or you could buy at the start of the next block, which would be right there, which obviously that one's ideal, but both of those would be great entries. And then you just ride this trade um, basically to the next sell zone, which I think I determined was like right there to get out. I didn't know it would go that far. I, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know how far it's going to go. I mean, I wonder if you could go back. Yeah, I guess you could go back and say, yeah, hey, this was kind of an old resistance we could look at. I don't know. I don't know. Targets are a little harder, honestly, because you're with targets though, you're taking profits the same way you're oh, look at our trade real quick. Boom bam. Let's go to the Euro Franc. Look at this. We're having some fun this morning. This is awesome. Let's go. 10 plus pips on each one of those. Nearly that's 100 pips basically right now. So we'll see if that continues. I'm not about ready to take my profits just yet. I'm going to let that go just a little bit more. That's fun. We've had some really good stuff happen recently. Like Banker's Close has been solid, absolutely solid with the Banker's Close. One second, I gotta be careful. I have this FTMO challenge I'm doing, and right now I would pass the challenge right now if I closed out, but I'm barely in profit. So one second. I got to make sure I do this right because I don't want to have to redo this, take another trade. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I got it. Okay. So yeah, with that challenge, okay, so with this challenge, I had to make $10,000, and look at that, guys. $210,000 right there. And because a second ago, literally just a second ago, I was up 9,900 or 9,000 or 200,900, 209,000 something, right? And with that last little move on the Euro Franc Banker's Close, that just pushed me over 10K of profit. So that I've now passed this challenge, which is super, super awesome. That's awesome. That's why I was like, because a second ago as well, I was just below that, and I didn't want to have to take another trade to get it. But that's now passed. That's super awesome. Anyway, fun stuff. And then obviously I'm just still holding over here. I think there's more to go, honestly, guys. So that's why I'm still holding. I'm being a little greedy this morning, to be honest, but I think there's more to go on this one. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about this Euro Aussie swing trade. This trade, I don't know how much, I think I closed out honestly around here. So I probably only made like 100 pips on this trade, but had I played this a little bit better, yeah, there were as much as 240 pips to be made on that move. But hey, I'm happy that you guys could take that trade with me. I'm happy that it was a signal. I'm happy that I made money. I'm happy that you guys could make money on that trade. You know, good times, right? All right. So the next trade is let's see, what was I going to say? Um, oh yeah, this is a trade we took together. I closed this one out. And dang, I'm wishing I had stayed in this trade. Oh, real quickly, on that Euro Aussie, once you do your own analysis, like we just did right here, this is a buy order block. This whole thing is a buy order block. Yeah, you could buy inside there. Pull up Sonar Lab. Boom, buy order blocks all throughout that area, right? Like there's some that you may want to weed out. Like you can pull your block out of the way, but yeah, this whole thing is a buy order block, which can kind of get confusing, right? That's why I would say if you do your analysis of finding those buy order blocks and sell order blocks, those supply and demand zones, if you do your analysis and Sonar Lab comes out and says, "Yep, there is a buy order block inside your buy order block," I would say you've got a solid trade because now you've got like somebody else confirming that you have the right analysis, right? Um, I mean, you can also text me on Telegram. You can literally take a picture of your trade, go on Telegram, text me individually, and if you want my opinion too, I'd be more than happy to give you my opinion, and I'll tell you, hey, that looks good, and heck, I might take the trade with you. So that could be fun. Um, but yeah, I would say that gives you some extra confirmation because sometimes it's easy as I think as traders for us to be like, hey, I think this is a trade. And maybe we think a little too hard. Maybe we're like, we try to push something a little too hard and it's not what it is. Right. So that's just a thought I had. I think having a tool like this that's that powerful where you can go in and like confirm what your analysis is, I think that's really awesome. Okay. So, and then you can just move it away because there's a lot of stuff on there. Kind of get your chart kind of messy, and I don't like messy charts. So I like to move that stuff away as soon as I take a look at it. Let's go take a look at the pound dollar. This is a trade that I closed out. You guys probably are way more in profit on this trade than I am because I already closed. I took a $955 gain on this last night. And I apologize, I didn't tell you guys that I closed on this one, but you guys are now up even more on this trade. But let's take a look at this. And now I'm kind of mad that I closed. Here's why I closed. Since I was thinking the pound CAD was going to go up since I thought the pound CAD was going to go up another 100 pips, I was like, oh, well, the pound dollar is somewhat correlated to that. I don't know if I should be in that trade. Fortunately, it worked out fine. And although the pound pairs went up a little bit last night, they went up a little bit. That's where I made my money. And then they just came down, which was kind of the expectation, but it was just something to be thoughtful of. Okay. So you come over here, you slap a blue line on the high, and then you go back in time and you find out, okay, hey market, what's causing you to do this, right? Couple of things you could look at. So I would say for sure when you come back here and look at this analysis, couple of things. This is absolutely a sell order block right there. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. But so is this. This is 100%. How do you guys find these with your own eye, your naked eye, which is you got to learn how to do that. Once you learn how to do it, you're going to unlock lots of trading potential to pass FTMO challenges, potential to unlock trading income for you and your family. How do you find those with your naked eye without the help of a indicator? Just look for consolidation zones that were, or excuse me, look for big breakouts that were preceded by consolidation zones. That's the answer. So when I look at this and say, okay, hey, this market made a peak up here, formed a point of structure, made a nice level of support down here, got rejected a couple of times, but then ultimately broke, as you can see right here, broke into this next level. To me, that's a sell zone, right? That's a supply demand zone, right? And then you look at this one and say, okay, hey, with this one, same thing, kind of bubbled back and forth a little bit and then broke away and did its thing. Technically, this whole thing right here, from here up, is also a supply demand zone. And these are all buy and sell order blocks. You could draw each one of these out. You could draw each one of these out and 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 go from there. So what I did is I said, okay, hey, we have like 3 different zones that are pretty strong through here. I feel good about buying this, or excuse me, not buying, but selling this. So what I did is I just placed a sell order on the pound dollar, kind of a smaller position because yeah, there is a lot of um, liquidity involved, or excuse me, there's still a lot of room here. This one actually just barely went past it. I hate it when it does that, but it just barely did. And but yeah, this whole thing's a sell block, right? You could literally start selling from the beginning of this block and sell all the way up to there, and you'd still be fine. Heck, if the market were to break up into this one, that's a real sell zone. That is like sell like everything right up in there if it got up to there. Um, um, anyway, my thought process was, maybe this one might go up to this next sell zone, just like the pound CAD was going to do, and like the pound CAD did. So maybe I'll be a little more careful on this trade. Um, in hindsight, though, obviously I wish I'd kept it because if I were still in this trade, I'd be up. I don't know. Where did I sell originally on this trade? I don't know exactly where I sold originally, but I'll have to take a look. Um, but yeah, this was just fantastic. This trade right here. In fact, I'll find you exactly where I sold. 1 second. It's on my other account. I sold 1.20938. 1.20938. Oh, I guess I didn't get a very good price on this one. Let's see, is that right? 1.20. Let's see. Yeah, 1.20938. So like right there. That's where I sold. So yeah, obviously I think I could have sold better into that, but yeah, in fact, what really should have, here's how this really should have been played out. When you have such strong cell blocks and you have multiple of them, and then I haven't even pulled up Sonar Lab, right? Here's Sonar Lab, right? Look at that. I didn't even know where that was. Like I just drew out my own blocks. These are my blocks with my naked eye. Pull up Sonar Lab, boom. In fact, most of them are up here where my block is, right? That purple, that's where most of them are. So could we have sold here? Yeah, absolutely. I think there's better trades to take, to be honest. So I'm glad I made money on it. But and yes, it stinks to think like I could have made more. But I really think we should just be taking some of the best trades because that's where we're going to feel more. Because here's the thing about taking the best trades. If you just take the best trades, what's that what that is going to do to you in your trading is you're going to feel so confident on trades that you're going to be able to have tighter stop losses and be confident that you're still going to make money and not hit your stop. or at least not too often. You're still going to hit them, but you're not going to hit them all the time. And what that also does, a consequence of that, is it allows you to take a much larger lot size. Okay. And it's a calculated thing. Like people think, oh, you're increasing your lot size, you're going to get in trouble. No, you have to. That's the only way you're going to make money. You have to increase your lot size. The whole goal of trading is to increase your lot size. Gosh dang it. Right. Like that's the whole goal. So yeah, it's a good, and it is a level up concept. You really want to level up and increase your lot size as you get more proficient at this type of thing. Um, hey, thanks for coming, Jason. Talk to you soon. Um, but yes, you want to level up so that you can uh, so that you can actually make money with this, right? But one of the cool things, again, the consequences, hey, you're taking the very best trades. Consequence of that, better reward to risk ratio. So you can have tighter stop loss, bigger reward. Consequence of that, bigger loss size, right? And that's where you're going to level up and make more and more money, right? So that's why I'm thinking like, hey, even though I think we could have made more on this trade, honestly, the trade I would have loved to have taken with the pound dollar would to have been to sell here at the beginning of this sell block right up here, which you didn't quite get to, and then put your stop loss on the other side of these blocks. And this is just a beautiful sell zone. I mean, look how many sells are in there, right? Like I've got my block, and then all the other blocks are in there too. So that's a good area. That's a good area to be selling at. All right, guys. So good trade. What's the next trade though? After our bankers close set up, let's see, it's just pulling back a little bit. I'll let that do its thing. I'm still waiting on it. I'm going to be patient on this. I really do think I'm going to make more on this trade, so I'm just going to be patient. But let's see here. We can look for another trade while we're waiting for our bankers close set up to go. Like, let me show you how I would look for stuff. So I like to delete Sonar Lab first, right? Because for me, I know I have something first. I don't want to get confused with Sonar Lab. I want to do my own analysis first. I want to know that I'm seeing what I'm looking for in the market. And then if Sonar Lab says, yep, confirmed, then great, we pull the trigger. So like here's just trade setup number one, or here's currency pair number one, the Aussie CAD, right? Alphabetical order. I already drew out some stuff up here. I wonder what's out here. So we come back over here. Sure enough, yeah, there's a block, right? This one's extremely obvious, right? The market made some consolidation right here and then made a nice support level. It just busted through that support. Technically, you could actually include this whole thing right there. But again, I'm trying to be a little bit more picky with my risk management. I kind of picked this zone right here. And yeah, you come forward and sure enough, the market's really struggling to break above that. I probably should have shorted a little earlier, but it's fine. Anyway, that one's kind of, I would say, over, or I guess you could get a reentry, but I don't like reentries. I like to catch it on the first time something happens. This one's forming a lot of support and resistance right now, but where would it break to? This one's really confusing. Like there's a lot of zigzag stuff going on here. There's not real clean breaks, and so I kind of ignore that one. Oh, dang, did I miss this? Dang it. I knew this one was going to set up soon. Well, let's go over it. Look how cool this is. So this Aussie yen came into a buy order block. In fact, here, pull up Sonar Lab. Actually, oh, Sonar Lab doesn't have it. That's interesting. But I had my own block pulled up here. Basically, this whole thing's a block, right? Like from here down to here is a block. Because this is the last thing that the market did before it broke out. It broke up. and broke structures and broke all sorts of stuff. But this is kind of the last zone, the last area. You could even just say that this thing right here, whatever this was, the banks bought there to create this move. And sure enough, it basically came right into it and then gone. I don't know if that's the best trade either, but you know, that's the same concept. Oh, here you go. Oh, this one, dang it. This one was annoying. This one's a re-entry, and that's why it was annoying because this one a couple days ago came into a buy order block and immediately came up, and it actually came back and retested. I was trading the retest, to be honest, and it looks like it's gone up from there. But yeah, you can go back in history to find out like where. Yeah, here's the block right here. Again, you're looking for consolidation that precedes a move to the upside, a breakout that breaks structure. Sure enough, this guy, boom, breaks resistance, disrespects it, whatever happened in here. Same thing with this one. This one down here, beautiful little buy block, tight. I like the tight ones if you can. And then goes up from there. Okay. You come over here and apply that to the market, you can see where these zones are. And sure enough, yeah, it's coming into those blocks. And this is like 6, 7, 8 months later, which is crazy. You know, you're predicting this stuff 8 months in advance, which I think is amazing. That's, you know, you talk about the ultimate scalp trade. You can scalp really well on stuff like this. Imagine scalping this market knowing this context, right? You can almost pick your pair to scalp every morning. Here's an idea for you. If you like to scalp trade, do this analysis, this top-down analysis. Find your very best pair to scalp. And then you'll know, like, I'm only buying this pair today. I'm only selling this pair today because it's bouncing off of an hourly buy order or sell order block. All right, next one. Kind of missed that one. Let's see. Okay. Here's the Aussie dollar. I don't really see anything that I like there. Oh, wow. This one's right in one right now that I drew out. Let's see. Does Sonar Lab? Let's see. Let's go back. This is the CAD Franc. How far back do we have to go? Pretty far. I think you have to go back. Oh, yeah. This one you have to go back into 2021. Look at this block. Huge block right here. Okay. Why did I pick this? Because this is basically the last big thing that happened that created, and technically it's this. Whatever the market did in here created this huge move, right? So now you come over here a year and a half later to today, it's retesting, it's come into here, and the banks have had only interest of buying this thing back up. So this could actually be a continuation trade. I know Sonar Lab is saying, you know, hey, the banks are selling it a lot now. I guarantee, and it hasn't updated yet, but I guarantee the banks had something to do with that little V that happened here in the last 5 or 6 hours, because this whole zone is a buy order block from a year and a half ago, and it's obviously rejecting. It's doing a good job. So this could be a continuation. I would imagine this would go back and retest up here. That's 50 pips away. I really do. I really, really do. So I'm going to write that one down. I know there's a lot of these seller blocks in here, but I think we have the even bigger picture on the market. So I feel good about this one. Anyway, let's continue looking. This is interesting. This one actually came through a block and then that I drew out and then came back into it. Let's see, what did this one I would just say I didn't take this trade, but I probably would have just lost on this, to be honest. Because this is a nice little block right here. This is the last thing that created this big move to the upside. I wouldn't have counted that down there. It's not how I trade. So yeah, this one would have given me an L had I traded it. And who knows? I don't like that one because of that. But yeah, here's the Frankie. And when was the last time? Okay, let me get rid of Sonar Lab. Nah, I'd probably ignore this one. We already traded this one. This one was money. We made money on this guy right here. We talked about that earlier, the Euro Aussie. Here's a Euro CAD. Oh man, I knew this was gonna do this. Oh, did I miss this? Okay, look at this. This is the top of the market. Go back in history. I knew this was coming. I've been watching this one for weeks. Go back and find out, okay, what caused it to stop right there? Oh, well, I don't like this one as much just because I don't like how technically this is a block right here, but there's a lot of stuff in between it, right? So technically this is also a block, you know, this whole actually you could say that this is a block too. So you could say this whole thing, just include this whole thing and say, okay, this is a sell block. But anyway, that trade's over. Well, you could still trade it. It's still a sell because you're still in the block, right? Like, in fact, maybe we trade based off of that. Here, let's bring these over. And I am curious to see if Sonar Lab has something on here to show. Yeah, look at that. This whole thing. And it's still in it. So maybe we still sell. We're just a little late. The EuroCAD. I might consider that. I'll keep it on my eye. I'm not going to do it right now. I just need to do some more research first. But what does Sonar Lab say? Sonar Lab says there's a sell block right here, right up in here. Yeah, and that's inside our block. And then there's a bunch of buy blocks down here, and that's to be expected as it's created this huge rally. Here's the Euro Franc. This one I was thinking about selling last night. I'd still be in this trade if I took it, but I was basically planning on writing this one down to some of these older blocks down here. But I did not do that. Okay, let me get rid of some of this stuff. Oh, here's the Euro Pound. I was waiting for it to see if it come into this block. There's a block down here. It hasn't quite reached it, as you can see. But we should probably have a trade ready to go because if this thing came into that purple block right there, you definitely want to buy if it came into there. All right, this guy, I'm just ignoring. I want to check our trade. Okay, so it's not doing much. Still profitable, but it's not doing much. Yeah, the Euro Kiwi, there's several buy blocks down here that I've been like big ones. And okay, so with this one, this could be an opportunity. Yeah, so with this one, I've been thinking about selling it to basically do what we just did with the pound CAD last night to ride this to one of these blocks because I don't see any reason why this market's going to pull up from here. There's no structure that says it should be held and just kind of go up from here. The next levels where I'd be curious of a reversal to the upside really wouldn't be until you got to one of these purple zones. Yeah, there's no reason for this market to, in my opinion, go up until it hits one of these purple zones. So that's why I think this is a sell until it gets there. And then you look at Sonar Lab coupled with what we just did. Sure, there's some buy blocks down in here. Those are smaller time frame blocks. I would say maybe go to a 2 hour. Let's see what that looks like. I guess there's still a few in there, but yeah, most of the buy blocks are inside my purple blocks here that I drew out. Let's go back to the 1 hour. And then it looks like recently it ran into some sell problems, some sell pressure again. So I just feel like this market is trying to get to one of these platforms that I drew out, and then from there it can decide what it wants to do. So this could be a monster trade. I just need some more confirmation to make sure it wants to do that. Because if it does, guys, there's 300 pips away from the current price, or almost 300 pips from the current price to my block. So it could be a really massive trade if that one works out. So that is another one I'm thinking about. Here's the euro dollar. It looks like it came right into a sell block a few hours ago. Dang, I missed a lot of these. I can't believe I did that. I was tired last night. I was, like I said, I was driving home from San Francisco. But dang, that could have been a really great trade right there. That one. It's just crazy how many opportunities there are. And it happens all the time. Like I say, dang, I say, dang it, I should have taken that trade. Look how obvious this one is, by the way. Look at this. This is on the euro dollar. You come back to June. Look how clean this block is. So nice consolidation and then a very clean break. Just boom, goodbye. Comes back up, retests, and then it never comes back again. And now that the market has come up and retested this area here in November, look what happens. I touched it right there. Yeah, I guess on the 15th, barely. And it touched it one more time and then got rejected. Really interesting stuff, right? And then if you pull up Sonar Lab, yeah, there's a few cells up in there. There's actually one right in between here. I'll have to go back and see. I'll have to go see that one. Okay. Maybe if this thing broke up, I wonder. Tons of buying pressure in here, though. Crazy amounts. Oh, yeah, we traded this one. I may continue to sell that. We'll see. Here's the pound franc. Pound dollar. Well, this is interesting. Look at this. On the pound dollar, maybe we are not done with the pound dollar. Look at this. We have all these cell blocks, both my own analysis. I've got 3 blocks up here of my own analysis, and then they're basically in the same areas that Sonar Lab is saying there's cell zones in. Right here where I've got mine, basically the same place, and then I've got this one right here. Where's the next buy block? All the way down here, guys. That could be a really solid 150 pips on the pound dollar. I would say this is my favorite one so far based off of just our quick analysis together. Pound dollar, maybe, I was kind of mad, like, oh man, I should have continued to sell. Well, maybe it's not over yet. Maybe we got 162 pips to go. Yeah, 150, whatever. Yeah, this is really awesome. Okay, well, I might consider this one. I'll do some more touching up and research, but it is top of the hour. I'll keep looking for some trades, but I really like that one. That was good to wrap up on that because that's fun to see. Here's our bankers close trade. We're up 55 pips on it right now, almost 60. And we're gonna let this sit still. Again, I'm being a little bit more pushy with this trade today, just because here's why I'm being a little pushy on this bankers close trade and why I'm not closing so fast. we have lots of help down in this area if this thing wants to keep coming down. So for me, I look at this and say, on this 5 minute chart, I've got blocks right here. I got a supply and demand block right now. It's sitting in one right now. And I've got one right here. So if it wants to break another low, by all means, like we've got help. So that's why I'm not being so like I'm not trying to take my profits as quickly this morning because I do think there's more to come on this move. Even if it were to come down for the next couple of hours, like let's say it came down, I don't think it will, but let's say if it did, the follow through move would be like that. So that's why I'm being a little more patient with this trade. All right, guys. Well, fun class today. Good profits. Obviously, really great trades from last night and over the weekend from some of our swing trades that we held. We'll get some more really good trades put out this afternoon and evening. So be alert for that in the Telegram, and I'll get those out to you guys. So thanks for coming, guys, and we'll see you in the next webinar.